I really liked that Bonzai buggy that we tested a little while ago, and I thought, you know, this might be the great platform to upgrade. The motor mount on the Bonzai is non-adjustable. It wasn't that big of a deal. I did have to use some different screws to actually get the motor to mount, but the biggest problem was the shaft on the new brushless motor was bigger than the shaft on the old brushed motor. So I wasn't able to use the original 15-tooth pinion. Not a big deal. I had a 16-tooth pinion sitting around that fit on the new motor without any issues. This made the gear mesh pretty tight, but it did all fit together pretty well. I think it's gonna work. Not ideal, but good enough. The new pinion is a lot bigger than the old one, so Ethan took the Dremel and dremeled out the motor gear cover, so just the back of the pinion sticks out a little bit, but the good news is the whole thing goes back together. We still have a cover for the gear set, and you know, I think any vehicle looks just a little bit more tough when the actual gears and such are, you know, it's like the equivalent of a blower sticking out of the hood or something. You know, we got the gears bursting through the gear cover. It looks cool. Now is the exciting part where we get to install the new servo and hook up the receiver, power it all up, make sure that the servo is centered before we stick the steering horn back on there. The new servo is pretty fiddly to get in there. You have to get the screws through a hole on the side of the chassis, so it was a balancing act of holding the screw inside the chassis, sticking the driver in from outside the chassis, and getting everything to line up. With a little bit of frustration though, I was able to get the new servo in there and it fits beautifully. All the electronics are in. I just took it for a little test rip around the floor, and she goes. She certainly goes. The gear mesh is a little tight. I think I'm actually going to order a new pinion for it. That way I don't just destroy the gearing that's in here. Transmitter, yeah, it's okay. So this, you know, this could be a good place to stop. You know, if you were just interested in the brushless conversion, the brushless conversion part is totally done. But I want to change the way this thing looks as well. Now, Ethan, you know, apparently he had some issues with the body. I've seen it. It's not his best work, I must admit. But I think with some strategic sticker placement and a little bit of creativity, we can still make it look pretty awesome. So I am going to switch out the wheels and tires. That's easy. You just pull these one off, put the new one on there, and I will see you all again for the little final reveal of this thing. Are you ready? Should we do the jump cut? Pretty disappointed with this paint job. There's definitely some runs in it, but you know, it's a basher. It's, you know, it's gonna get beat up anyway, and you know, with some stickers around there, you know, you mad, bro? I think it looks pretty freaking awesome. And just think about where we started. Just, I mean, not long ago, this whole conversion did not take long at all. The only thing that I did since the last time we saw it, other than the body, is I went back and I put some blue LEDs that I just had laying around. I just stuffed them under the body there. And yeah, I think this thing is gonna freaking rip. I'm excited to get this out and actually see what it does off-road or on-road. Yeah, I'm just really excited to drive this thing in anger. Freaking stoked. What do you guys think? I am just overall glad that the ESC didn't go up in smoke. So anytime you can avoid a fire, I mean, that's you're winning in my book. For way less than like a Traxxas E-Revo or something like that. I mean, we end up with this thing, and I think it looks cool. I'm really excited to get it out next to the Red Cat Volcano 16, kind of a very similar platform, especially now that this one is brushless. So I'm excited to run both of them back to back and kind of see what's what. Looks-wise, oh, I think this thing looks good. And I am gonna get a smaller pinion and put the right size pinion on there, because although this works, the gearing is pretty tight. So I should probably go back and put the actual correct size pinion in that thing. But I mean, it still works. It still rips. I drove it around on the floor just very briefly, and yeah, she's gonna go. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, guys. If this is your first time checking out the channel, welcome. I'm glad you found it. I like to do RC shenanigans like this all the time. And I've got some pretty epic stuff coming up, especially if you're into budget spec stuff, so you're going to want to stick around. All right, guys, until next time, we're chopping E-Revos out here. Chopping them!